Right, welcome back, and highlighting the importance and the significance of the visit of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the United Arab Emirates. We have with us over the phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Your Excellency, this is a very timely visit to the United Arab Emirates by the President. How significant is that? How can you describe the surrounding atmosphere?
As an old diplomat, I feel always satisfied and relaxed whenever I see our leaders talk to each other. It means that we have a sort of coordination in our policies, in our economy, our trade, our investment, all what we aim to coordinate with our brothers. So this is sort of an occasion which we repeated several times in the last few months, where brothers are to meet each other and to consult about what are we going to do about this and that. And here I think we need some consultation concerning many things. The problem, the international problem which is caused by the war in Ukraine, the problems in our region which is not in a very good health, what is happening in Yemen near Emirates, what's happening in Syria, in Libya, in Sudan also, the problem with Ethiopia and the famous problem with the dam, where the Emirate has a say here, and some information say that the Emirate is investing in Ethiopia. This wouldn't make us astonished, because Egypt at certain stage proposed to Ethiopia that we build the dam, like we did for the dam of Julius Nyerere in Tanzania, and they refused. So I think the problem of the dam is a political one, not a technical one. And I am quite sure that it will be solved at a certain time. Coming back to the Arab fold, I am not so happy with what is happening in the Arab world, but we are doing whatever it takes to keep those countries who are still standing on strong feet to continue trading, investing. I am talking here about Egypt, the Gulf states, and
United Arab Emirates.
United Arab Emirates, of course, I said the Gulf states.
Yes.
Yes. Let us hope that those meetings will bring us to much more stability in our region, whether political, security, economy, trade. I hear always, I draw lines under the fact that we have one of our largest Egyptian community abroad in the Emirates. And I feel so glad whenever I go, and in the hotel I used to stay, I find everybody talks Arabic in the Egyptian dialect. On the contrary, in some places, one lady serving me told me to write whatever I want in English because she doesn't speak Arabic in an Arabic country. So we are asking to Arabtize the jobs in the Gulf states, and here we are asking to make more Arabs working in the Gulf states instead of Indians or East Asian citizens. Many things in my mind to talk, but I feel satisfied and happy because of such meetings between our president and his brothers.
Your Excellency, here you raised an important point, which is the Egyptian-Gulf relations. And definitely the Egyptian-Gulf relation is historical, is solid, has never been in doubt before how relations are deep, and
especially with the Emirate, because the Emirate is relatively
the
young
Gulf
country.
states. The Gulf states, and definitely, particularly, the United Arab Emirates. If I may ask you, we are in unprecedented geopolitical divide in the whole world, and alliances are completely differing. And how do you view the importance of Egypt-Gulf relations as the backbone of the stability of the whole region, and the importance of their relations, the inevitable continued relation that should continue at this very upcoming stage?
It is very important, and I want to draw to our mind and our memory the meeting between the 6 Gulf state leaders with Egypt, Iraq, and Jordan when they met the American President Biden. In that meeting, and before the American President reached our soil, we refused his initiative. He was asking us to establish a pact against Iran. And we immediately, our foreign ministry, answered him, Iran is not the enemy. Iran, after all, is an Islamic brother country. The real enemy, the one is occupying our Palestinian territory, the one who is invading our mosque, Al-Aqsa, in Jerusalem, the one who is occupying still parts of Syria or Lebanon, and of course is dividing the Palestinian people in 2 places. So immediately the President of the United States withdrew his initiative, and he started to talk about the 2-state solution. This is a sort of success. We have to draw the attention about it. This is one example how when Arab states who are in good in good position can make a sort of coordination in order to convince the whole world about our cause. Mind you also that in Egypt we do not suffer at all with what is happening in the Ukrainian war. Why? Because we do not need their gas. We are exporting gas. We are exporting energy. On the other side, we are trying to be a good mediator. And here I draw the attention to the visit of the foreign minister of the United States to Cairo. And the next day, Sameh Shukri was in Moscow trying to make a sort of intermediator there. We are doing our best in order to stop this war, which is a silly war, as a matter of fact. And every side, whether the Atlantic or Russia, I think they are not right in their position at all. One last thing I want to say, that Cairo is becoming one of the most crowded city of embassies. We have good relations with the Far East in Japan up till the Far West in France, north to the Americas, south to the African Union. We have very good relations with all the countries of the world, and I am quite sure that in any problem, and many problems are solved by a telephone call between our president and his counterpart anywhere in the world. And we are becoming more and more the most acceptable face in our area.
That's due to our very, very integral or the integrity of our diplomacy. Your Excellency, yes, but since you raised this point, so I have here to raise it more, the constant basis of our diplomacy ever since. it was established is based on integrity, on non-interference in anyone's internal affairs, in showcasing our solidarity, particularly towards our brothers in the Middle East or in Africa. How does this reflect on the scene? How is that, or should that be at this upcoming stage?
It puts a sort of responsibility on us. After all, Egypt is the largest country in the Arab world, the largest army, and we are keen to help our brothers. But mind you that our slogan here, God will help those who are helping themselves. The worst thing you can watch in Yemen, in Sudan, in Libya, that it is a divided countries between tribes and parties. This is bad, but much more worse than that, that each side is trying to ask the intervention of a foreign force. Then the solution is not coming from within the country, but coming from the foreign forces. Much worse than that, what is happening in Sudan, where in any country where there is a difference between one party or one tribe and the other, always we come back to the army, because the army only looks to the country, not and to one flag. We have in Sudan a problem that the army is fighting itself. This is a situation we have to face. This is a very complicated situation. It cost us more than 4 million Sudanese living in Egypt. 300,000 came to stay with us. Syria is the same, almost 500,000, or the Lebanese, or the Palestinians, and so on. As our president and our foreign minister stated, that we have almost more than 9 million brothers coming from many brother countries. This cost us a lot, and thank God that we can live with it. And of course, the Gulf states know that Egypt is part of a good solution and good arbitrator, because, as you rightly mentioned, we have an old diplomacy. We celebrated this year 100 years of foreign office, but we were discussing the history of the real diplomacy of Egypt. It started 2,000 years before Christ. So this is a very stable country, old foreign policy, where we can really be a good and positive element to any problem we face in the whole world.
Returning to the United Arab Emirates and the visit of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the United Arab Emirates and his meeting with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and the very distinguished special relations between Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, and economic prospects for this upcoming stage.
Absolutely, because I always remember that when the Arab League was established, we were only 7 countries. One sole country from the Gulf, which was the Saudi Arabia. The whole countries of the Gulf were occupied by the British, and we helped all of them in order to have their independence. The Emirates became a member in the Arab League at 1971, and the establisher of this country, Sheikh Zayed bin Al Nahyan, he was the wise man of the whole Arab countries, and he kept always very good and tight relation with Egypt. And they say that he tell his brothers and the coming leaders to keep good relations with Egypt. And even during the tension, during the peace process of Egypt, the Emirates kept full capacity and full relations with Egypt. Also, we don't forget that the Emirates is the biggest and the largest investor from the Arab countries in Egypt. This is a very good element because Egypt is not presenting itself as a country who needs more finance. No, Egypt is a country with
opportunities
opportunity for those who want to invest and to make money and to participate with us all these projects. I hope this will continue. I hope that we can double this volume of trade, of investment, and human relations also is very important.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much for being with us over the phone and for your input. Now we move on with our episode, but before we delve into other discussions, let's first have this quick report and we'll come back for more discussion.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met Monday in Abu Dhabi with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, President of the United Arab Emirates. The two presidents expressed their pride in the close fraternal relations between the nations, reflected in the close coordination between the two countries, with the aim of supporting the stability of Arab region, especially in this stage in which the challenges are increasing internationally as well as regionally. The meeting also discussed ways to strengthen bilateral relations at various levels, especially with regard to revitalizing economic cooperation, joint investments and trade exchange, in addition to enhancing cooperation in many development fields to achieve the interests of the two brotherly peoples. President el-Sisi also congratulated the United Arab Emirates for its space achievement by undertaking the longest space mission for an Arab astronaut, wishing the UAE and its people further progress and prosperity. The two leaders also discussed the latest developments in the regional arena as well as other issues of mutual concern, as the two leaders agreed to continue their joint efforts to push forward resolving existing regional crises, taking into account the Arab interest, enhancing Arab solidarity and achieving stability and prosperity of the region. The meeting also tackled the discussions on the COP28, which Dubai will host by the end of the year 2023, building on what was achieved in Sharm el-Sheikh COP27, and with the aim of giving impetus to joint climate action at the international level in a way to preserve environmental resources and serve the interests of humanity at large.